I don't think that the camera's on for whatever reason, but it's on. There's one. Hello. How are you guys doing? We are live. I can't see any chats yet, but they'll come up. Sometimes it just like explodes with all of them. And all of my friends are texting me, are you going live? Because I'm late. Sweet Maya is out of town. He'll be home in a few hours. And so my life is just a little bit hectic when that's the case. Every time he leaves, I learn how absolutely dependent on him that I am. So I can pull this up here so I can look at the chat on my phone. Hi, guys. This is Amanda. I'll tell you more about Amanda in a second. I'll let everybody get on here. Let's not update right now. Thank you. I do not want to do that right now. Grandpa Jones, hey, how are you? Hey, Susie. Y'all drying out there in Bama, Susie? We got some more rain the other day after a 6-day break, which is the longest break in rain we've had for a while now.
I brought California weather with me.
Yeah, I know. It's been really nice. Nice and sunny. And then it's going to go down to 37 the night before she leaves. Yeah. So she's taking California back with her, I guess. So, I saw your husband.
Oh, yeah.
He said hi. So, how are y'all doing? There's Pure Hearts Homestead, Jody, Jessica, Carolyn. Redeemed Ranch said they like your t-shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Sowing a Legacy. How are you, sweet friend? There's Stivers Homestead. Oh, Terry, a table full in the woods.
I'll do the classic. Hi,
Mom. That's awesome. Okay, so for those of you who are just signing on, you haven't caught the vlog lately, this is my friend Amanda. She's here visiting me from California. She and I met last year at the Seed Expo. She'd watched the channel, and we ended up hanging out a lot with her and her mom at the Heirloom Expo when we were out in California. And at the end of that, I was like, hey, let's keep in touch. And I think we've probably texted just about every day since then.
Pretty much every day.
And then her mom contacted me about a month ago and was like, hey, I have this crazy idea. I was thinking about buying Amanda a plane ticket for her birthday. And so I was like, yes, that'll be awesome. And so she got to come out and hang out.
And it's
for her birthday.
Everything I hoped it would be.
We've had a lot of fun. It worked out really well because Sweet Maya was out of town this weekend. She got here in the middle of the week. And so I've been so grateful for an extra set of hands this weekend while he was gone. It's been awesome, especially somebody who knows a little something about animals in the garden. She's actually gotten a lot of stuff done. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you came on your vacation and you're working so much. She's like, no, this is awesome.
It's a momcation.
Yeah, it's a momcation. She doesn't have to take care of any kids. So anyway, so I'm really excited to have her on the live tonight, and maybe she can answer some of y'all's questions about suburban homesteading, because that is what she's doing in Modesto, California. So David said, Audrey says, hi, Jess and Mommy. Hi, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
No new goat babies yet. Mayhem is still teasing us.
I'm pretty sure she's just crossing her goat legs and waiting for me to leave.
She's so swollen. Her udder is looking very full. It could probably get a little tighter, but if her udder gets any bigger, it'll just be, okay, it's time. She just barely has any ligaments, super soft. We'll just... I don't know. I'm hoping she doesn't wait until Amanda leaves. We're actually going on Tuesday up to Baker Creek.
I know.
So we're going to go up there and kind of tour the grounds and take a look at everything. I'll be up there again in May for the Spring Planting Festival. I found out I'll be speaking. I believe it's Monday at 12:30 is the day that I'm speaking, but I need to double check that because it might have been Sunday. It was 12:30 on one of the days, and nailed that down the other day, found out my time slot. But I'm going to be there for the whole festival to get to meet with you guys. So how is everyone doing? Have you had a good week? Amanda, how much land do you have to garden, and can you have animals?
Well, my entire lot is only 1/5 of an acre, so I have a very small space to work with. I check my city ordinances. Everyone should do that. If you're going to do urban homesteading, then you have got to check your city ordinances, because there will be different limits on different kinds of animals that you can have. For instance, my city code says that I can have 12 only female poultry. So that includes ducks or chickens or quail even in our city. So I have 12 chickens, and I'm also able to have 2 miniature goats. So I have 2 Nigerian dwarf goats who are both supposedly pregnant, and will sell the babies and will milk the moms after that.
So yeah, she's doing a lot on 1/5 of an acre. We actually figured it out yesterday by square footage, and her lot is a little bit smaller than the fenced area of my garden.
Yeah.
And so she's doing, and that includes their house, obviously.
Yeah.
So she's
house
doing,
and the front yard, which I can't do hardly anything in the front yard.
So they're doing a lot, and they're going to actually be producing a pretty good bit of food.
Yeah. I've been expanding as much of my grow space as I can. So I have a lot more containers, like cluttering the patio. So I have almost no patio.
We'll see if David comments on that. Oh, sweet Maya. Oh, sweet Maya is commenting. I miss him. I just saw him talking. Sorry. I'm so embarrassing. Okay. Oh gosh, y'all. I have such a crush on my husband. It's like so silly. Okay. Sorry.
He says, "Oh Lord."
He's been gone for 3 days. So what part of California?
Central California. I'm in the Central Valley. Distance is all measured in how long it takes to drive in California. So we're about 2 hours east of San Francisco.
David said his yard is shrinking because of Amanda's garden. That's Amanda's husband who's commenting on here. So, everybody's saying, "Hey, sweet Maya." Oh, yeah. So I'm hoping one day to get out there to her place and get to see it like she got to come to mine. Somebody asked about seeds. So
the tour will take much less time than it did.
She's been helping so much and has gotten to experience some big goats.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's like they're walking on stilts.
So somebody asked about seeds, and actually I just shot part of this for tomorrow's vlog, so we won't go into much depth on it. But this is a box that I just carried up here that's like my must grow box. And we actually sorted through my seed collection, started organizing it today. And
you may or may not have been giggling and tittering like a little girl.
Yeah. So yeah, we got a lot done. Amanda got to go through and get some different seeds, and also she helped me a lot in organizing them and getting them sorted back out. And I started picking up seeds that are in my must grow category. And a lot of these I won't plant until the frost is past, but I wanted to get everything together to make sure that I got everything started that needed to be started. And so this is going to sit on my table, and I think we're actually going to try to do a drawing of the garden to figure out where things go.
Thank you, Norma Laura.
She Moved Mountains asked, does Amanda have a channel or social media?
I have a Instagram account. I'm Palladini Farms.
Yep. So maybe I can type that in. Let me see. Is it just all together, Palladini Farms?
Palladini_farms.
Okay. So let's see, let me type this in. And you can follow her on Instagram, but she's not on social media. I told her, or on YouTube. I told her she should
I've been
share her.
thinking about it.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see what someone's doing on a small, city lot.
Yeah, small scale. I also have 3 kids though that are very active. They're all in baseball this year, so I may not have time to start it until summer.
Or just jump off the deep end like me and be like, I can do everything. And then have a breakdown when you realize that's not true.
My goats are actually, we pen them up. I have a 10x10 dog kennel that we just got at Costco. And we fenced off the garden, so we generally just let them have free reign of the whole backyard. So they come and nap on my patio, and it's fun.
So, doing everything is dangerous. That is so true. Rose, you're not joking. It's easy to get overextended. I have had to learn the art of saying no, to be sure. Best to grow with limited space, like altogether, what's the best to grow?
I don't know.
I think fruiting plants are definitely a best use of limited space versus things like,
nothing that
growth.
vines. Like, you could get away with pole beans, but anything that rambles, like certain melons and squashes and stuff like that, I just cannot grow them as much as I want to.
She's grown a lot as far as like peppers and tomatoes and
a
bit of flowers.
Yeah, I mean, my entire garden is raised beds this year. It was all in the ground a few years ago, but I kind of really developed more of a strong love for gardening, and I wanted to maximize my grow space, so I had to revert to raised beds.
Yeah. Yeah, I think raised beds are a really great way to use small spaces because you can make sure that your soil is going to give you the most for your space.
Yeah, and if you're comfortable with a very narrow walking space, then you can really maximize that space.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Morgan published the Jedi video. I saw it pop up in my feed the other day, but I haven't watched it yet. I will also say that, guys, have you gone and watched Goldshaw or listened to Goldshaw Farms podcast yet? Morgan, I think I saw Morgan on here. You're on here, aren't you? We need to share that link to the podcast that Morgan has going. Goldshaw Farms started podcast, launched it this week. I was one of the first guests along with Sow the Land and White House on the Hill. So he put 3 episodes up right at the beginning, and it's going to be a fantastic podcast. It's going to be really awesome. Thank you, Natalie. Hey, it's a good life. I appreciate that. There's the link to it. If you guys have not watched it yet, we've gotten some really positive feedback. Morgan, have you gotten just positive? All I've heard is good things. Like, people have been messaging me saying that they love it and that they're really looking forward to following it. They're subscribing. They've got notifications on for it. The feedback has been amazing. Yeah, I've heard really good things. So many people tell me that they listen to YouTube videos while they drive, and I'm a listener too. I'm busy, and so a lot of times my hands are busy, and so I'm just listening to stuff. So I love a good podcast. I think it's going to be really awesome. Oh, the haulers are on it this week. It's coming out on Thursday. Cool. That's really awesome. So y'all definitely check that out and go subscribe to that. Is that what you do to podcasts? Yeah, you subscribe. That's the word. Right?
I don't know. I haven't gotten into that realm yet.
So, how do you follow this feed, Tess? I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. As far as the podcast, you'll just go to like Spotify or iTunes, wherever you get podcasts, and download it there, and you can subscribe to it. Yeah, Dennis, I listen to most YouTube videos. Otherwise I wouldn't get to hear very many of them just because I don't have just a whole lot of time. The G family homestead. Have you always lived in Arkansas? For the most part, I grew up in Arkansas. I lived briefly in Texas, and then I spent 2 years in Knoxville, Tennessee, and that's where my second son was born. But then I've been back in Arkansas since then. I love it here. This is where my family is. And, I'm not absolutely married to always being here. It's not that kind of thing, but like, it is a very, very convenient place to live if you love to garden. And also my family is here.
My husband commented that my mom and my mother-in-law are both watching. So hi, Mom.
That's awesome. Hi, Amanda's mom. When is the new greenhouse reveal? I'm twitching. Alternative small holding. Actually, Maya messaged me today and said, hey, I'm going to work really hard. I want to premiere the greenhouse this coming weekend. So we are going to plan on premiering that video this weekend, and you guys will all get to see it. And I will finally be able to stop stressing out. Guys, did you notice the other day that my video wasn't up until like 2 p.m? Yeah, that was because I uploaded it that morning and thankfully decided to review it beforehand. And it totally had like full on shot of the window greenhouse. And I was like, dang it. So I had to take it down and edit the video and re-upload it to publish it. So that was fun. Hey, Big Bear Homestead. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to get to hang out with you guys. Y'all be here before we know it. And I'm just so pumped to get to hang out with you guys. I love y'all. Country Homestead Preacher, how are you guys doing? It was so lovely to get to meet y'all down at the gathering. Make sure y'all put your questions in all caps so I can see it because it's moving pretty fast. Thank you, the G Family Homestead. I appreciate that. When's the shindig? It is April the 6th, fast approaching. So it's in less than 2 weeks. And it is from 9 to 5 on Saturday, April the 6th. I made a bomb flyer for it the other day and put a big fat typo right in the middle of it. Didn't realize it until today. So that's great now that that's been circulated all over the place. I put Saturday instead of Saturday. So that's fun. So yeah, Saturday, April the 6th from 9 to 5, the White County Fairgrounds in Searcy, Arkansas, free event. We've actually gone ahead and secured a couple more trucks to come out with food, a coffee truck, because well over 1,000 people RSVP'd. So at that point, we were just like, what the heck? We moved it to the fairground and we decided to go ahead and advertise it publicly. So it's liable to be a pretty good size event. Mags had her baby a couple months ago. We actually have Maggie, who we nicknamed Maggie Mayhem, and she deserved it. And then we actually got another goat from the group of goats that we got, and her name is Mayhem. Like, her registered name is Mayhem, and she is the sweetest goat in the world. She is not at all Mayhem. And so I call her May May, but she's actually the one that's doing it now.
She came over and was pretty much leaning her face against my face, wanting love. So.
Yeah, she's such a snuggler, for real. Her and Nestle are my big snuggle girls. And so I'm Nestle and Maggie already kidded. Mayhem, Miriam, and Suki are all very close. I'm thinking Mayhem should be any day now. Miriam is looking closer and closer. Suki probably has at least a month to go.
I had a question up there that asked about what vegetables we can grow in containers and what one's my favorite. I wouldn't say I have a favorite yet because this is my first real year doing a large scale container gardening. But I do pretty much, I've got a ton of peppers. I've got lettuces. I'm even doing trellis melons as an experiment to see if I can grow those in containers. Also, my containers are a mixed medley of planters and just storage totes that I've stolen from my husband and just drilled. As long as it has drainage holes, then you can put it in there.
Yeah. I use a lot of storage totes. I've done a lot of container gardening and storage totes. No, Dandelion Acre, the shindig does not cost to come. And we're having and all of that, but it's not an event that costs. Somebody asked something that I wanted to answer. So you guys are just kidding around out there, huh? But Big Bear Homestead's got dad jokes. Yes, we are.
Someone's got a kid if the goat won't.
Yeah, right. Yes, we're definitely. I wish we were kidding around a little bit more. I wish they'd go ahead and have their babies while I'm not out of town. Yeah. What do you do about squash bugs? Pray, cry, pretty much lose my squash. I don't know. Like, I have a big garden and a lot of squash, and I don't use any sort of chemicals. Like, I don't put anything on them. Some people have told me some like organic sprays that you can use, and I might try those this year. But last year I just lost a lot of plants to them. I picked them off by hand, but they were just incredibly persistent. So, do you grow corn? Not growing corn in my raised beds. I grew a little bit in the ground last year, Brianna. It did incredibly poorly. I had pests really bad. This year I'm going to try to do it in the backyard where it's not so much clay, and just see how it goes. But at this point, I'm just kind of curiously learning how it grows. I'm not hoping on a lot of it.
I also tried growing corn in my brace last year. And unfortunately, last year, my soil was a really poor mix, so it wasn't very nutrient rich. So the plants took a little while to take off. And the plants themselves were fine, but everything had to be hand pollinated, and the ears just never really sized up very well. So that was pretty much a flop.
Yeah. Mine were really small last year, and we had pests, so... Sowing a legacy. I was telling Amanda today about how you had suggested the Seminole squash, which is like a pumpkin, but the squash bugs don't hurt it, that it was really resilient. Angela was out at our house a week or so ago, and she was telling me that she ended up, what was it, like 80 squash off 2 plants? Did I have that completely wrong? Because that seems like,
I think that's what it said.
I think that's what you had said. And so I was actually looking today and going through my seeds. I don't have seeds for it, so I'm going to have to get some. I definitely want to grow. I want to do the Three Sisters thing in the backyard. Okay, Holly Ann says variegated Swedish ivy keeps squash bugs away. Just plant some close or in a container. That's interesting. I mean, if it's variegated, then I'm probably already in love with it. So I'm taking a note on my phone. You guys teach me so much.
I do not have a YouTube channel. Thinking about one someday, though.
I tell everybody I know to have a YouTube channel. So I'm like, you should totally have a YouTube channel. It's just fun. It's a fun community to be a part of, for sure.
To keep the chickens out of the garden, I have a 4-foot just hog panel fence. And when they fly over it, that's the day that I go and I cut everyone's flight feathers.
Yeah. I have to clip flight feathers too. And just a 4-foot fence with clipped feathers will keep them out. But for me, I don't know. Some people put chickens in their garden, but I just don't understand how that works.
To help hold moisture in the raised beds, you can definitely mulch it. That'll help retain the moisture.
Absolutely. Mulch. You should always mulch your soil. Give it some sort of covering, and it will thank you. It holds the nutrients in, holds some moisture in, and helps so much. Thank you, Anne-Louise. I appreciate that.
And I had another question further up if I do vertical gardening. I did try vertical gardening several years ago, and it wasn't really for me. Like, just the plants in my area, at least, it gets too hot, and the plants just weren't able to do as well as they would have in the ground. I do trellis. I have like 2x4 wire fencing all the way down my fence line just for my beans to grow on, but that's pretty much the only vertical things that I do. And I'm trellising melons.
Cool. I'm wanting to trellis. I think I'm going to give 5 trellises to melons this year, because last year the Kajaris did so well, and that's something that we actually will eat all of. The kids eat them for snacks, they eat them for breakfast. It's just a great thing to have a lot of those little personal size melons. So when are we going to see quail? I will take you guys over in the vlog to see the quail this week. There's one that's my favorite. It's so beautiful. It's dark brown and has this white chest, and it's just so pretty. So
very pretty quail. I'll
take you guys over and see them. I just don't go over. I don't usually have the camera on me when I go over there. Make sure. Sometimes, well, that was an old text. It was just popping back up. The tomato challenge. Okay, so Tess, I will get the information and share it with you guys, like the definite information, but make sure you're following Gary at the Rested Garden to have the information on that, because he's going to be like lining out all the rules. We're actually all starting from seed on April the 15th, and it's essentially like a beefsteak variety. But I will post all of that information so you guys can know if you're going to take place in the tomato challenge. But make sure you're following Gary and Kalei Kim, because the 3 of us are doing it, and we're inviting our followers to do it along with us. How warm does it need to be to plant brassica seeds in the ground and have them germinate? Shannon, brassica seeds are so tricky when it comes to planting them in the ground. Probably around like in the 40s or 50s, they'll germinate. But the problem is direct sowing them can be kind of tricky because they need some warmth to germinate. But then when it gets too hot, they bolt really quickly. So I like to start those inside and then move them outside as soon as it's not like devastatingly freezing. Where are you, Shannon? What zone are you in? I transplanted some of my brassicas today. I missed the window on some of them. I just didn't get them in time.
If you're really, really wanting to start to direct sow them, you might be able to do it in the fall and then overwinter them.
Yeah, that would work. Absolutely. When do we get to see your garden dance challenge? The guy you shared today was hilarious. Guys, I watched that clip. no less than 25 times, and sent it to a lot of people. I was laughing so hard. Last night I was giving Benjamin a bath, actually, when I found that. And I just started laughing. And he's like, what is it? And I showed him, and we both just laughed and laughed. That guy dancing was just made my whole day. Do I grow morning glories? I love morning glories. I keep getting the advice not to grow them because apparently once they're flowered, they're toxic to horses and goats. So I'm kind of trying to decide what to do with all my morning glory seeds. I still am going to sow some. My sister-in-law loves morning glories, and I'm sending some seeds to her. But I think I'm going to grow them along the front fence line where the horses and goats won't ever come in contact with.
There's a question there that said, what causes tomato seedlings to turn yellow?
That can be a number of things. Look up dampening off and learn what that looks like. It can also, if they're a little bit larger, it can also just be deficiency, like if they don't have enough nutrients. What I use is a thing called Super Thrive. It's just like a fertilizer, kelp fertilizer that you put in water. It's not organic certified, but I've done some research on it and I feel okay about it. It's a natural product. It just hasn't gone through the certification. And when my seedlings start to discolor, when they get a little larger and they're just kind of running out of space, I will water them with a little bit of that stuff added, and it usually perks them back up. Shannon, my last frost date is May 18th. I was thinking of starting them outside next week in the 50s during the day. I think that would probably be fine, Shannon. Last year, just for reference, our last frost date is mid-April, early April, and I direct sowed brassicas at the beginning of February. The kale did fantastic. The cabbages did not have enough time. The broccoli did not have enough time. The rapini, the sprouting broccoli, I was able to harvest some off of that before it bolted. But the kale did great, so you could probably go ahead and do that. My favorite thing to plant, the Max Happy Homestead tomatoes, man, hands down. 100%. Have I ever grown capers? I have not grown capers, but I love to eat them.
This one's popped up several times.
How many Kajaris per trellis? Amanda, the way I do Kajari melons and cucumbers, I grow them about the same. Like whenever you have a trellis, since one side is 4 foot, I just put 2 plants or 2 seeds. Kind of one, like if this is your trellis, kind of one here and one here. And so 4 plants, 4 seeds per trellis is what I grew last year, as well as cucumbers. That's what I did with my cucumber plants as well. Wanda Price. I will check that as soon as I get off here. I have a couple of admins that also check that. Make sure you answer the 2 questions. There's 2 questions that you have to answer to join our Facebook group.
Hi, Nathan. That's my son. He says hi.
I bet they're loving this. They probably think it's really cool. So yeah, we'll definitely check that. Make sure you answer the questions. I have a fence, but we'll put something over them. Like if you're I grow things on my fences. The only thing is you have to make sure that wherever it's planted on the bottom is not going to get overtaken with weeds. So a container at the bottom of the fence, or if you want to mark off some bed space where you can mulch it so it doesn't cover up with weeds. But growing stuff on fences is great as long as the fence is sturdy and it's not going to knock it over.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie War Room? Yes. I have. That's it. I liked that movie.
It's very good.
Best cold tolerant tomatoes, Catherine Campbell. Check out a seed company called Fruition Seeds. It's a really neat company that is catered to growing in the north, and they have several tomato varieties on there that are short season tomato varieties. I don't know them off the top of my head, to be quite honest, because I've never had to be concerned about that. So we have a 200-day growing season.
And Bree, I think it was Cardoza, said that everything in the greenhouse germinated except for peppers. Any tips? It depends on how long it's been. Peppers can take a little bit longer to germinate, because I've had some friends who have come to me and said, my peppers haven't started yet, and just be patient and they'll come up. They
can take 3 weeks easily to germinate, but they also need heat. So if everything else germinated, it's probably warm enough for them. If you could put them on a heat mat, if you have one, or you can germinate your peppers inside, because peppers don't need light to germinate. They just need warmth. But then as soon as they're up, you can move them out to the greenhouse. So some people are saying my peppers took forever. It's definitely hard. Nikki, what's wrong with my pepper plants? They aren't growing the size it's supposed to be. I really wish I knew more about peppers. I failed horrifically at them last year.
It could also be a temperature thing. Because mine were growing fantastically in the house, and then I transplanted them, and they have grown almost not at all.
Yeah.
So
it's cool, they really need warmth. And then also, like, make sure your soil's not too compacted. Like, a lot of times if your plants just like pause and they stop growing, the soil's too dense for them.
Or if the soil is nice and loose, just go ahead and do a soil test, because sometimes just a lack of nitrogen can just cause everything to just stop.
But I would say the first thing I would go to is that they're not warm enough. Your peppers need to be warm. Heirloom Permaculture said they'll take off in the heat. Amanda, do you sell anything?
I do not. It's been a kind of a thought process that we might do plant starts next year, but I don't have anything else that I work on yet.
Yeah, Big Bear Homestead, we don't stress about peppers until June or later. So yeah, I mean, like, they really take off whenever it gets warm, for sure. I actually am thinking that this year I'm going to keep my pepper starts in the greenhouse until like significantly later. My tomatoes, I move out as soon as the frost is cleared, even if the nights are still coolish, like 50. But I think I'm just going to keep my pepper starts in for as long as possible. Once it gets hot, they don't stop. That is so true. Someone asked where Maya is, in case you missed it. He was out of town this weekend. Him and his brother in Jackson were out of town. He will be here in about 3 hours. Praise the Lord. I miss him for sure. This is my friend Amanda. She's here visiting from California. She came in. It was her birthday gift from her family to send her here to visit us. And so Sweet Maya is commenting. You can see him there. He says, I am here. He's riding in the car. His brother's driving, I'm sure. He better not be typing comments in this while driving. Amanda, when are you moving to Arkansas?
I'm probably not going to move to Arkansas. I'm pretty happy with my growing zone.
Yeah, a lot of people come to visit, like, from the frigid north, and they're like, I want to move here, but I don't have much on California.
Yeah,
rain, I guess. But.
Yeah, our last frost was March 1st, and our first frost is until the first week of December, so we have a really long growing season.
Sweet Maya said we need to mix it up again. So much gardening talk. Well, you're not here, okay? When you did the last
what
training,
it
was all nerdy talk, but you're not here now. Where's the Star Wars talk? Picket Farm. I guess it's with Jeremiah on his way back home. Heirloom Permaculture said we sent Maya a picture of Henley eating his favorite Brahms flavor. He does love him some Brahms. Jeremiah said, so I just watched the new Dora the Explorer live action movie preview and I'm interested.
There you go.
Morgan, more Star Wars, please. Y'all are a mess. I can't talk about nerdy stuff. I don't know anything about it. I can tell you, I can list off 100 tomato varieties, but I can't tell you anything about Star Wars movies or any of that. Like,
I know a little bit, and I'm a Dungeons and Dragons person. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you can talk nerdy talk.
Talk nerdy.
I brought someone here to talk nerdy, guys. Since Maya's not here. David said, Amanda, go nerd. Brianna said, I haven't seen Star Wars. I have seen it, but that's funny. People, that's funny. Oh, hey, Out of Goshen. Y'all are silly. Getting messages.
What peppers would you suggest for a mild salsa?
I bet Marconi's would be really good. They got a lot of flavor, even though they don't have heat, really. And
Nadapeños might be good.
Yeah, Nadapeños or Habanadas, those are developed to not have any heat. So those would be good options. Where I got my arroz con pollo seeds is from Baker Creek. Jeremiah said, I don't have high enough charisma to change the subject of this conversation. Man, you got some gardeners on this. That's what we've got. That's what we've been talking about together a lot. So
sorry, Maya, you rolled a natural one on that one.
Chris, are you considering a drone to film? Actually, yes. We absolutely want to have a drone before the garden takes off this year to be able to really give you guys that view of it. I've shared before, we actually use the money that we make sharing Amazon links and using our Amazon storefront, we roll that back into the improvement of our channel. That's kind of just something we decided to do from the beginning. Even when it was just a very, very small amount in the beginning, we would save it for months to make purchases for farm stuff or for stuff for the channel. And that's actually how we purchased our GoPro. Was saving that money and purchasing that. And then more recently, I actually just purchased a really nice monopod that will help me use my big camera. I have a big DSLR that has great capability. So if you notice the quality of my videos go up a lot, it's because I got that monopod and it enables me to use that camera. And the next thing that we're hoping to purchase is a drone. So we really appreciate you guys using those links. It doesn't cost any more for people to use those, to purchase those things. And you can actually buy all your stuff. If you go through our referral link or our affiliate link, you can buy like diapers for your kid or whatever it is that you buy on Amazon, and it actually credits our account. So that's a great way to help our channel. Thank you for asking about the drone. But Jeremiah is like, he's determined to get drone footage of the garden this year.
Yeah.
Oh, sowing your heart. Go follow Gary from the Rested Gardener about the tomato collaboration, and he'll have the rules, and I'll get those and post them on the vlog here as soon as I know what the exact rules are. I think we're going to try to nail that down by April 1st. Should you put your seedlings under a grow light after a couple plants sprout or wait? I do. Like once they start sprouting, I go ahead and put them under a grow light, even if it's just a couple of them. Jess will be able to fly through the tomatoes. You better believe it. I'm already imagining like GoPro footage of like underneath the tomatoes, next to the tomatoes, watching them grow. I love tomatoes. How to discourage wild rabbits from eating ever last green thing that sprouts from the ground. Get a large, orange, fluffy cat, name him Kitten George, and allow him to harass you all the time, but you'll never have rabbits. That's my method. I don't really know what to do other than that. Some people might have some tips. That might be a great question to ask in the group, the Friends of Roots and Refuge Farm group, what people are doing to deter rabbits with the raised beds and Kitten George. And so we don't deal with that. Let's see. You've explained before, but can you go over again the difference between determinate and indeterminate tomato plants, please? Angela, determinate tomato plants just have that word is saying that they have a determined amount of blossoms. Like basically determinate plants kind of come to fruition all around the same time. And within the course of like a couple of weeks, they set all their fruit and then it ripens and that's it. They only grow so tall. They don't get any taller than that. Indeterminates are more like, they're not vines. They're not really true vines, but they're more vining. Like they just keep growing taller and taller. And as long as you continue to keep those plants healthy and give them support, nutrition, they're going to continue setting flowers and continue setting fruit. Someone asked earlier about topping tomato plants. If I top my tomato plants, and basically like what that is whenever your plants are setting all this fruit, you can cut the top off, because as soon as you cut that top off, they will not continue to grow up. They stay alive, but they don't grow any taller. And that way they put all their energy into ripening the fruit that they've already set. So I hope that answers that question. Have you seen anything that you wanted to grab?
I don't think so. I'm trying to keep up. They come pretty fast.
It's pretty fast. Can you recommend a type of kale for a first-time grower? I really love just like your basic Vates blue curled kale. However, this week we're digging the Ragged Jack kale.
Yeah, that's a really good
or
kale.
Red Russian. It's sometimes called Red Russian. It's really frilly, and man, it's probably because it's been out there all winter. It's been snowed on and iced on, but it is so sweet. That's been our breakfast the last couple mornings.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Have you ever planted super steak tomatoes? I have not grown those. Wow, over 2 pounds. That's really big. What do you feed your tomatoes? My tomatoes feed me. No, I'm joking. I usually put like an egg in the hole with them, or maybe like a banana peel. And of course, we plant in compost. We put a new layer of compost on every year. And other than that, I don't do a whole lot of fertilizing. I'll do like molasses. I've shared that before in a vlog, where you just put like a tablespoon of molasses in a gallon of water and spray it down. Actually an aspirin spray, like we water with the molasses and spray it with aspirin. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. That you put like an aspirin in a gallon, like sprayer thing, and just let it dissolve. I'll try to kind of crunch it up so it can dissolve in there. And then you spray the whole plant down, and that actually like shocks the plant into thinking that it's under attack. And it helps intensify the flavors of that plant, which is just a really cool little trick that you can do. And then the molasses is to offset all the extra nitrogen. It's just a little thing. I don't know. I've got a video out about tomatoes that I've shared that stuff before, but I actually don't do that just a whole lot. I'll do the molasses water like once a month, and then I'll do the aspirin spray about the same, about once a month whenever they're growing. And that's it. I don't use any other fertilizers. Chickenick prepaying for the tomato plants from the shindig. I know they're going to sell fast, but I can't. I won't have the capacity to take orders and all of that stuff. It's already going to be a lot just having the shindig going and all of that. So it's going to have to be first come, first serve on those.
There's a question on if they should start seeds indoors or in their greenhouse, indoors with grow lights or in the greenhouse. I don't have a greenhouse, so I mean, I start mine indoors. I have an aero garden, so I'll usually do that to start them, and then I'll move them into a cup and then put them in grow lights so that they get over the shock of being in dirt, and then shock them again and put them outside.
Yeah, I mean, it's either one. What's your greenhouse temperatures looking like? Like, if it's dropping below like 45 in the evenings in your greenhouse, I'd probably start them indoors and then move them out there once they're up and out of the ground, because they really need that warmth to germinate. I've not grown passion fruits. Have you grown passion fruits?
No, my mom is growing one this year.
Yeah. That doesn't work here. I'm zone 7A, but
yeah, she's got one that I think it survived the winter.
What zone are you?
We're in 9A.
9A. Gosh, wouldn't that be nice? Goldshell Farm's in zone 4. 4. And he gardens and he grows stuff and it's awesome. But I'm sitting here like, awesome, I just cannot imagine. Yeah. Citystead, what zone are you in Michigan? Who's your guest? This is Amanda. She's here from California.
Hi.
A friend of mine, Jeremiah's on his way home. He's been out of town this weekend. And I've got Amanda here with me until Wednesday. We are going to Baker Creek on Tuesday, which would be really cool. We're going to go up there and visit and tour it.
Oh, my mom commented. Yes, the passion fruit survived, and it's spreading new vines everywhere. Awesome. So it hasn't fruited yet. We'll see what happens.
No, we don't have baby goats yet. We're watching her. I think she's just being difficult. What do you do about white flies? Is this relation to you, Andrina?
Yes. Yes, that's my mother-in-law.
I've never dealt with white flies, actually. That's not something I have dealt with here.
They are horrible for me. Yeah. Nasturtiums.
Nasturtiums is a trap crop.
Yeah, they used to be so bad on my zucchinis. And last year I put nasturtiums pretty much under them and had almost no white flies on them. So they're a big help.
Awesome. Heirloom Permaculture said they just saw that they are one of the few Instagram accounts that you follow. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Is Kalei still on here? Farm on Quail Hollow, Mangalitsa Mama, are you on here? Amanda Wells, Kitten George t-shirts. So did Jeremiah just tell you guys that, or am I letting the cat out of the bag? We actually did totally have some Kitten George t-shirts designed. There are 3 new t-shirts that are going to be premiered, I guess you could say, or released at the Shindig, and then we'll have them available online after that.
Someone says nasturtiums are supposed to help with squash bugs too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, nasturtiums are a really good trap crop. I'm starting some inside the greenhouse this year, hoping that I can get them started. Yeah, the Kitten George t-shirts are pretty awesome, to be quite honest. Can you start indoors without grow lights? Yeah, Jessica, you can. The thing is with starting indoors without grow lights, things can get leggy, which is just what happens when they don't have enough light. Most things don't need light to germinate. Most things that you're growing in a vegetable garden, flowers and herbs often need light. Lettuces often need light to germinate. Yeah. But most other things you can start inside, and as soon as they germinate, you can put them in a windowsill. When they get a little larger, you can start putting them outside. You can put things outside and then bring them in at night, making sure they don't get too cool. So we're getting so excited for the Shindig. Can't wait to see y'all there. Yang Homestead. I'm excited to meet you guys. I'm absolutely super excited. I can't talk. I am super excited about the Shindig. I'm absolutely excited to meet all of you. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to get out. Basil under heat mat, a no or yes. Basil probably doesn't need a heat mat, to be honest. Like, just don't let it be cold. Don't let it freeze. It needs some warmth, but it probably doesn't need a heat mat. A mild kale. Can you recommend a mild kale? That I think the flavor has more to do with how it's grown than the actual plant.
Yeah.
Like they're sweeter in the cool weather. And so growing them when it's cool is really how you get great kale flavor. Are zinnias the best for bees? Zinnias are great for bees. I don't know if they're the best, but
lavender may be one of the best things for bees. They're covered. They love lavender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also love sunflowers. They do love zinnias.
Yeah. They love flowers.
Yeah.
Lots of color.
Yeah. Do you use mycorrhiza? Yes, actually, I do. I don't even know if I'm saying that wrong. Somebody tell me if I'm not, so that I don't embarrass myself repetitively in videos that are forever documented on the internet.
I've heard it pronounced mycorrhiza.
Mycorrhiza. There we go. Now I know.
I'm not saying I'm right.
Any composite flower is good for bees. There we have it. Thank you, Rose. Yes, I do inoculate the soil where I plant beans and peas. But once it's inoculated, so you don't have to continue to do it every year. So, I'm so sorry to hear that, Rebecca, that he has to have surgery. We will miss you. We'll definitely be praying for him. How do you say it again?
Mycorrhiza.
Mycorrhiza. I'm going to ask you that again later.
Test 5 times fast.
Mycorrhiza. See, I have to develop a picture in my mind to like connect it to and then remember it like that. Mycorrhiza. So like a sunrise, mycorrhiza. I'll get it now. Are you farm girls who date only farm boys? We're both married. Yep. What do you inoculate with? I have it's a mycorrhiza from Amazon called Myco Bloom. I think it's in my Amazon storefront, the one that I've used for the last like 2-3 years, and it works great. So when I find something that works, I tend to just stick with it. I have to make mental Post-it notes to remember things. And now I'm like, literally, mycorrhiza just keeps popping back in my brain with a picture of a sunrise. And like, sometimes I'll say things over and over, like they closed the road by our house because they're replacing the bridge. It's been closed for like 3 months. And so we can't drive the normal way that we go into town. We have to take kind of like this 1 mile loop around. And when they first put the sign up, I'm like, crap, like I'm going to go down that road a jillion times and forget. And so what I started doing is whenever I would drive, even though it was like a week before the road was closed, I would shout out, don't turn there. Jeremiah was like, oh my gosh, you are so embarrassing. But like, and we would just be driving and everybody be quiet in the car, be like, don't turn that road close. Because I have to have a mental Post-it note so that whenever I get to that point again later, like it's like, no, don't turn down, the road's closed. And I've only gone down the road 2 times, forgetting. So the mental Post-it note is working. I think that's really awesome. Sorry.
Someone asked how long I've been urban gardening. I've lived in my house for the past 9 years, and I've had a garden in it almost the entire time. Only the past couple of years I've gotten more serious and gone crazy with getting the raised beds put in.
Do you or can you have bees where you live?
I don't know. I've never looked into it. I have thought about it, but I really don't have the space for it. Because I think it would be an issue. Because I do have 3 small children, and I don't want them like right against the house. So it's something I would like to do someday.
Yeah. Me too. Have you started your cucamelons yet? No, but they're in this box of my must-grow seeds that I'm going to go through and start everything that needs to be started. So maybe tomorrow. We'll probably spend some time in the greenhouse tomorrow. We have to move some stuff out because Amanda actually separated out a bunch of peppers. I had to go to a funeral yesterday, and so she worked in the greenhouse while I was gone and did a ton of stuff. And there's literally there's this much walking space. I'm not joking. You have to put one foot in front of the other and hope that you don't fall down and crush plants.
Yeah. Spider plant. Have either of us ever planted a spider plant?
I haven't. It is really pretty though. I really like spider plants. Oh, Jeremiah said whoever was asking, I added the drone we've been looking at to the Amazon wish list. The worst predators. That's okay. So we live in front of 1,000 acres of forest and woods. It goes all around the back of our property. And so we've always been able to hear coyotes off our back porch, but we've never seen one. They've never come up close. They've never killed anything. It's never been an issue. Well, we don't have a livestock guardian dog anymore. We just have our 2 dogs that sleep in our house. And the other day we were standing at the window and Jeremiah goes, crap, and just takes off running. I hear him getting into the gun closet. And so I'm like, what did he see? And I look out there and he shoots, but the thing had already started taking off and it was a coyote and it was just out in the woods in the middle of the day. So we're actually not letting our kids play outside of the yard right now. They are not allowed to go in the woods because this thing was out in the middle of the day. So, Big Bear Homestead is coming to stay with us for the shindig, and Jason is a trapper. That's what he does. And so he's actually coming, and he's going to try to do something about those coyotes up around our house. But definitely that is a scary predator to have right up by your house. Apparently donkeys are good at keeping predators away. I've heard that, but I've also heard that sometimes donkeys will kill goats. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what we're going to do about that yet. We haven't lost anything to him yet. We've lost things to like possums and raccoons. You don't really have very many predators.
Not really.
Being into.
Yeah, we've had raccoon sightings in our neighborhood, but I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
Crows. I have problems with crows when I have baby chicks. That's about it.
VW Family Farm said no donkey. Oh my gosh, Elkin Anchor is giving Jeremiah a hard time about missing the coyote when he shot the other day. Jeremiah's actually a really good shot, and he missed that, and he was beating himself up pretty bad, but the thing was already running off, so. Harvesting the bounty. We got a whole toolbox in the house. Man, the trolls can get nuts on here sometimes, and my friends who are moderators for this live stream make it possible, because I'll tell you right now, I was not cut out to be a YouTuber as far as people being jerks in comments, because it really does hurt my feelings. And so I never see it. I really never see the ugly stuff, and I know that it's here, but my sweet moderators, y'all go follow all of them. Y'all moderators comment so your names pop up. I don't know who all's on here right now. So there we go. Here, they're commenting. Y'all go follow these beautiful people, because they make it possible for me to be able to do this. Quite seriously, I wouldn't. Like, if I did not have people on here keeping that ugliness from popping up and me seeing it, I don't think that I could do it. So thank you so much, all of y'all.
There was a question a little farther back, how big my property is. My entire lot is 1/5 of an acre. So that includes my front yard and my house.
Yep, we actually figured, I said this earlier, but they obviously weren't here then. We actually figured out the square footage of Amanda's lot, and it's actually a little bit less than the square footage of our fenced garden area.
Yeah.
She's definitely doing a lot with the space that she has. Yes, Abiding Acres Homestead. The moderators are the ones with the wrenches behind their names. And they are precious people that I am so thankful for.
I'm from Central California in the Central Valley.
Yep. What time is it here? Watching from Germany. It is 8:03 p.m., which means that we are almost out of time.
It's already been an hour.
My mom took the kids as soon as she got here because I was running late.
It's really quiet here right now.
Francine, and Denise, I will do a video talking about inoculating because I want to get it right. I want to make sure I'm telling you the right information, and I don't know all of it off the top of my head. Essentially, it's basically infecting your soil with bacteria that causes a certain response in legumes in order for them to fix nitrogen, produce more, and it helps add back to the soil. But I want to be able to give like the actual scientific reasons behind that. So I'll include that in a video for you guys here pretty soon. Amanda Page, we met at the National Seed Expo at Baker Creek. Baker Creek's National Seed Expo in Santa Rosa. My brain is fried. I can't even form sentences.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. And my husband's out of town, and I am grossly dependent on him to function. And I realize that every time that he's out of town, like, I'm just like, oh my gosh. I need my husband. Oh.
Yes, I am in artichoke land. I don't grow them just because I don't have the space, but my parents do, and they have had some massive artichokes. Last year, they grew one artichoke that weighed over 2 pounds.
She actually brought me an artichoke plant in her suitcase in a pitcher with a can on top of it taped over. And when she opened her suitcase, she had one of those nice little notes saying, your luggage has been searched. They took her lock off and kept it.
Yep.
So probably they saw that on the little
X-ray
screen and said, what the crap is that? Yes, Kira, I'm definitely planting sunflowers this year for sure. I love sunflowers. They make me super happy. So Wholesome Roots is at 9,910. That is super close to 10,000. That is a goal that Rose has had and has been working towards. So you guys definitely, if you're not already following Wholesome Roots, go give her a follow and help her reach that goal. That would be super easy for this group to bump her over with just 90 follows here in the next little bit. So if you guys are not already following her, she's been commenting, so you can click on her there. That's so close. Exciting. Congratulations. So I guess I didn't really do my what I'm digging. Sweet Maya, are you still on here?
Someone asked if I live near Bakersfield. No, it's several hours away.
So definitely y'all go push Rose over the edge while I try to get Sweet Maya on here.
How do I turn this on? Turn on lights. I don't know how this works.
You ready? Okay, guys. Okay. We have to do what we're digging. This isn't weird, is it?
I can't see my face.
Yes, I can. Can y'all see Maya's face? They're saying hi to you. Okay, she's at 9,938. Y'all are doing it. Yeah, they can see you. Look. They said so Oh, it's your mom. So
That's my
adorable.
mom.
Oh, okay.
What do we get?
They said you look like the doorman on Scrooge. Okay, so we have to do what we're digging. That's creepy, Maya.
Oh. Now someone says that you look like a Sith Lord.
Natalie said you look like a Sith Lord. All right. Joy said it's a Jedi mind trick. Oh gosh, they're bringing out the nerd stuff. It's your present, so they just bring it. Rose, how close are you? Maya has beamed in. Okay, so I've got Maya's floating head in my hand now. That's not weird at all. We have to talk about what we're digging, my love.
Okay, so what are you digging?
I mean,
I only got one thing. You want me to give you my one thing?
oh gosh, this is going to be inappropriate, isn't it?
You, baby.
Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, she's 44 away.
When I get home, you get all the snuggles you want. One night. And I'm taking you back to your side of the bed.
Jeremiah is not a snuggler. He's really hot nature. And so when we travel and people only have like a full size bed for us to sleep in, I'm like, come here. Oh, okay. What we're digging. First thing, what we're eating this week. We have been eating a ton of kale. What are you eating?
I've been eating a ton of pancakes.
Pancakes. Yeah, because I won't go to IHOP. I think that breakfast food in restaurants is a total scam.
And we've had
We weren't
lasagna.
getting done from services until late, so it was the only thing open.
So you've been eating IHOP every night, enjoying.
Yeah, I've had so many omelets and pancakes. The first night, I had 9 pancakes.
9 pancakes.
Jeremiah. That's kind of gross.
Yeah. That was a little much. I probably should have held back a little bit.
Except for the brick in your stomach.
So we actually have been eating lasagna because Jeremiah does not like lasagna, and I make lasagna from scratch, but he doesn't
Kind of
like
amazing.
it. So every time Jeremiah goes out of town, I make lasagna. And so Amanda approved of lasagna, and I made lasagna for church potluck this morning. So she actually ate it
Got to
again.
have it twice.
38 more subscribers to go. Okay.
Well,
So we've also been eating a ton of kale.
Yes.
Kale and eggs every morning for breakfast. Picking it down. No, it's not. Okay. Okay.
more gross.
What?
More gross.
It's more gross.
What?
Joshua is freaking out about how clean his truck needs to be, while Jack's back behind him licking candy and sticking it to his magazine.
Okay. But focus. Okay. He doesn't like lasagna, Warren, because as a child, he had to eat it a lot. His dad made lasagna a lot, and so he burnt out on it, and he doesn't like lasagna. I know it's weird. I think that lasagna is the bomb digging. So, kale quiche. Dude, tomorrow morning. Okay, kale quiche.
We got an abundance of eggs.
Great idea. Okay. Ben Vincent said we need another IHOP meeting.
No, we're going to try to meet one time before the shindig.
Okay, so carrying on. What we're working on this week.
I don't have to answer that question.
Yeah, he's been working on the window greenhouse till he went out of town. Well, we have worked on keeping the children pretty much alive and healthy and happy. Also, we've worked in the greenhouse.
Lots of pepper transplants.
And separating
That's a really complicated way of saying you've been a parent.
Yeah. And a visiting parent that's actually on momcation, but also helping me not lose my mind. Also, we planted some transplants in the garden today, organized the seed collection, took care of the farm. We fed everything. I don't normally feed our animals. That's his job, but he's not here. As you can see, his head's floating in my hand. So I've been doing that. So where's Rose on it? 28 more. So close. Okay, so cool.
So,
Okay, what else do we ask? What's the other question?
what are we digging? Any city YouTube channels that we haven't?
I haven't got to what we're watching yet.
I didn't have time to watch YouTube this week.
What are we listening to?
What?
I listen to Critical Role D&D podcast. That's what
Amanda's listening to D&D podcasts. She's very invested. It's really cute. Huh? Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. Hey,
Yeah.
you have zero room to get on anybody about nerds.
That's another level. There's a point when you cross the threshold and you enter the Twilight Zone. It's like, oh, that's way too far. Amanda, I'm serious. It's a little far.
Oh, don't knock it till you tried it.
Listen, unless you're going to start live action role playing around the house, you cannot do that.
She's like, that sounds fun.
It really does.
Okay, coming from the man who has a replica lightsaber, let's just be real right now.
Yeah.
Jedi training has been recognized in France as a real thing.
Yeah.
There's still no dragons flying around. Just saying.
Someone said, what is your favorite D&D class? I don't even know what that means.
Well, I'm actually playing only my first campaign right now. So right now, my character is a ranger, and I've been having a lot of fun playing with her.
Cool.
Rangers are evil. Play as a paladin.
What do you know?
If I'm playing D&D before, it's in the closet. Okay? I'm telling you right now, I'm a paladin because I believe in the Holy Spirit.
I'm very interested in trying to play a druid because they're so OP.
Yeah, so OP. Okay, what I'm listening to this week, back to the topic. Kira said play as a druid, they're the best. Okay, back to the topic. Goldshaw Farm podcast. That's what I've been listening to. Definitely, I've said earlier, check that out. If you haven't heard it yet, Goldshaw Farms podcast is what's been that I've been listening to. And then also, I've actually been listening to Daniel's album, which y'all have heard me say that a lot, but I do get on music and just listen to it. Plus, I have the actual CD in my car. My car's kind of old. It doesn't have an aux jack, so I listen to the radio or a CD. It's the only CD I think I own now. So, yeah, that's it. 14 more to go for Wholesome Roots.
Jackson has literally been sleeping and lounging in this backseat like the whole trip.
Oh,
He's got like so much space. He's literally sprawled out.
Jackson's resting on the back seat. I hope he can sleep tonight because he has to go to school tomorrow. Okay,
Excuse me.
7 more to go. A mirror on my hand. Okay,
I love you. See
I
you.
love you too. Bye. See you in a little bit. Okay. That's what Jeremiah's digging. I just had to pull him out on that. Favorite part of the Goldshaw podcast? Well, I actually didn't listen to all of the one with myself. I actually have a hard time listening to myself talk. It's just kind of embarrassing. But I loved hearing more about, actually, White House on the Hills was really interesting to me. I haven't gotten through Sow the Lands yet, but I don't know. You watch people on YouTube and stuff, and just hearing more of a situation where they can actually converse. I just thought that was really cool. I liked learning more about them and stuff I didn't know. You're there. Congratulations. Rose is there. She's got 10,000 subscribers. This is her goal that she's been looking for. Everybody congratulate her. Oh, look at all the nice congratulations coming.
Their whole house is screaming.
Aw, that's awesome. I love that. So that is really cool. Let's see. Let's take a look at it on here.
Thank you, everyone who's commented on my shirt. It's kind of awesome. I love it.
Yes, I like that shirt. I think it's really cool. Yep, there it is. 10,007. Is it going to focus? Nope, not going to work. Yeah, there it goes. 10,007. Awesome. It's really cool. It'll probably keep going up a little bit after this. You're so welcome. Okay, well, I haven't watched a lot of YouTube this week.
Someone's asking me to share my Instagram again.
Yeah.
It's just Palladini_farms.
Palladini_farms. I had somebody in mind that I was watching last week and I was going to share them. Oh, I remember who it was. Okay. So there is a channel, really sweet girl that I have gotten to meet through YouTube, and she makes good videos, and she actually was the one who designed our heifer t-shirt. She made it kind of as a joke, and I was like, hey, can I use that? Can I put it on a t-shirt? So it's the Toasted Rabbit is her channel. And that's who I wanted to talk about this week. I wanted to encourage you guys to go give her a follow. She's a real small channel, and she's been getting started, and definitely go give her some love. Spending some going and supporting channels. I just can't tell y'all how much that it means whenever you go support other people. Rose said she's crying. Like, as a creator, you set like goals for yourself, especially in the beginning. And for people people are under 1,000, if you see somebody who has under 1,000 subs, they're not getting any sort of monetization. They're not getting paid for what they're doing. And so going and doing that, going and following them it makes a really big difference. Rose is wanting to hit 10,000. YouTube actually gives you a lot of options that helps you when you hit 10,000. That's like one of the levels that you get a lot more, like you get to have a merchandise shelf with your t-shirts underneath your videos. There are features that are only open after you hit 10,000. And from what I've heard, even like your videos can get promoted more at that point, and all of this different stuff. So like whenever you go follow people and you like their videos, you comment, it makes a huge difference for them. So thank you guys for going and following her. And the Toasted Rabbit, where is she on here? Is the Toasted Rabbit on here? No, that was Lauren that just shared the link. So definitely go and follow them.
Will you have any paste tomatoes for sale, Shindig?
Yeah, I have several different paste tomatoes. So yeah, I'm trying to think of who else that I was going to tell you. I think we'll just stick with the Toasted Rabbit since we're in Wholesome Roots. If you haven't gone and followed now, there's 543 of you. Go follow those two channels and give them some love and help them reach these goals. After you get 100, you can change your URL. Okay, yeah, there are some different milestones. I mean, like different things. Somebody asked if I've gotten my YouTube play button yet. Not yet. You have to wait for them to send you this like code or something in order to apply for it, and they haven't sent it to me yet. So I don't know when that's going to come in, but that'll be a pretty cool thing to get and hang up. I was thinking it would be kind of cool to hang it in the greenhouse. I don't know if that would be cheesy, but maybe in the window greenhouse. It's definitely pretty enough to display something like that.
What are we doing for fun with this mom date? Well, we're doing this.
We're doing this. This is fun. We've been working in the garden a lot, playing with seeds, which is actually a lot of fun to a couple of gardeners. We're going to Baker Creek. I think that's probably going to be like the big fun thing.
Yeah, the big mom date. We've done a lot of running around and just doing like errands.
Yeah.
Like when Maya was here, he watched the kids, and it was like just no kids. Were just a little bit to run around and do errands, and it's like that's all a mom really needs sometimes.
Yeah. David said he just chased your goats out of the house.
Well, try shutting the screen.
So thank you guys for going. And the Tinker's wife said, I just subbed Toasted Rabbit. Looks like a really good channel. I'm never going to get anything done watching all these YouTube channels. I know. Somebody asked me once, they're like, aren't you afraid with how much you send people to other people's channels that they won't watch you anymore? And it doesn't really occur to me, like, because if you guys go find a channel that really like ministers to you or helps you or encourages you, and if they do that more than me, then watch them, like, that's all I have to say, like, I think that a candle doesn't lose its light by lighting other candles, at all. And so there's enough for all of us. So I absolutely and encourage you guys to go and support other people, and I appreciate all of your support. You're so good to me. I don't know. You guys are so good to my family and to me, and you encourage me so much, and I appreciate you more than I could possibly say. but definitely support other people too, because there's enough. I don't know. I have a couple of mindsets about this, and it's interesting how in a lot of times in the kingdom of God, things can seem like you can find yourself in between places where you're like, how do both of these things make sense? But there's so much revelation whenever things seem to be contradictory. But there's a place, I think, of knowing God and one, knowing that there's enough for everybody so that you're not closed-handed. Your hands are always open and you just get to walk in overflowing blessings and just pour it out on other people. But also saying, I'm not going to take off. I heard a preacher, Damon Thompson, said this once, and it has stuck with me so much. And he said, I'm not going to take off my multicolored coat because of how it makes somebody else feel. And I think there's a place that you walk in, the humility to know that it's all from God and it's all a gift, and therefore it's for everybody because he loves everybody, but also the confidence in knowing who you are and knowing that you don't have to be less so that other people can feel okay. And I have so thankfully been enriched with friendships in my life that that don't make me be less in order for them to be okay. And there was a long time that I didn't have that. There was a long time that the relationships in my life wanted me to be less. And it is very freeing to come to the place to say, I'm not going to take off my multicolored coat because of how it makes somebody else feel. Because the thing is that we don't have a father who only has one blessing to give. The fathers that we see as an example in the Bible where people were tricking their blessings and murdering their brothers over how much they had. It's not like that. We don't have a human father. We have a father who is so infinitely more, and he has infinitely more. And so we don't have to make apology for being blessed, but we don't have to hang on to it. And so my biggest hope is that in the place that I have been tremendously blessed, that can pour out on other people. Because the thing is that a person like, Rose can have a dream in her heart she's so close to this goal. She did all the work to get there. Like, she did all the work. She put all those videos out. She put all that content out. She created that channel. But if I can in just one night give a little nudge that can be, a little blessing, like, why not? Like, why not help people? It's encouraging, and it changes things whenever you get to, whenever you learn that you don't have to hang on to everything. I can't give away the blessings in my life fast enough for them to start going down. Like, the more I give away, the more comes. That's just how it is. Like, we were talking in the basement today because I just have this seed collection, which I've recently given away like half of it. And we'll be giving away more soon. And I was just thinking, like, I remember a time whenever I used to scrounge up my birthday money and my Christmas money and agonize over the list to figure out what I could afford to get the seeds. And I would say no to over, 90% of what I wanted because I just couldn't afford to do that much. And I remember that. And I'm not there anymore. That's not I have more seeds than I could possibly plant in my life. And that's just a little thing, but God cares about the details of our hearts, the desires of our hearts, and the little ones. I'm not even talking about the big ones, like the desire for security and the desire for love and the desire for knowing him and all of those big things. He actually cares about the fact that you like seeds and that you want to have 100 different varieties of tomatoes in your garden. God cares about that. And I've gotten to experience firsthand how absolutely wonderful that is. And so, yeah, I'm going to be open-handed because I remember what it was like to so desperately want. And to the whole time to be grateful for everything that he gave me, even in that, when my friends would give me money for my birthday for seeds, when Jeremiah would put money in my stocking and it would say for seeds on the envelope, because they knew they would gift those things to me. And now I get to be the gifter of that. And it's just absolutely incredible. But I think I don't know why I went off on this tangent, but find that balance between being open-handed and refusing to take off your coat. Because I think that that's where you get to do the most good. The little things demonstrate his intimate knowledge and love of us when he blesses us like that. The tinkerer's wife. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Darlene, he cares about the cow print car seat. Yes, he does. He absolutely does care about those. I was thinking about that devotional today. The cow print car seat devotional, and thinking about the love language. I don't know. I was just thinking today about the difference of where we were and where we've come. Do you have anything you want to add to that on the spot?
You're pretty much on par there. I mean, it's been amazing, just the things that, like, I finally got up the courage to hold my own small seed starting class at our church, and it's been amazing just how much outflow there's been of people who want to come and talk about their seeds, and it's opened more avenues for more relationships and more friendships, and it's been a real blessing to be able to talk to each other and minister to each other, and it's just, I feel more blessed because I was able to bless other people. And yeah,
it is. It's such an incredible thing. Like, you know, we talk about when we give to people that's seed sown, and there really is. It's mind blowing when you understand the agricultural parables in the Bible, and then you actually get into agriculture. I'll never forget the first time that I harvested seeds. It was actually Kajari melon. The first seeds I ever saved were Kajari melon a few years ago. And a friend had gifted me a few seeds. It was back when Baker Creek, they were brand new. Funny, I just looked over and saw this. They were brand new, and they came with like 10 seeds in the pack, and we had bought a pack and split it. They sold out really quick, and I grew them. They got sick, and I thought I'd missed my chance. I was really bummed. And then when I was ripping out the garden, I found one whole Kajari melon that had kind of rambled underneath something. And I came in and I saved all the seeds, and it was like 1,000 seeds out of this one melon. It was something just completely nuts. And I remember saving these seeds and just really it was impressed by my heart just how much multiplication actually takes place in sowing and reaping, like how much multiplication. So when God talks about sowing a seed and the harvest that comes, I mean, he's not asking us to think of a small harvest. He's asking us to think of a massive multiplication. And so, yeah, I mean, like at this point, I think really having that concrete thing to hold on to, for me, like sowing the seeds of supporting other people and encouraging other people and giving to other people in every way possible. Like I expect multiplication, not in a sense that I'm doing that to get something in return. I expect it just like I expect the sun to rise in the morning. Like it's just the laws of the kingdom. It's just how it works. If I drop this, it's going to fall because of the gravity of the earth. It's just a physical law of the earth. But even more so, the laws of the kingdom are even more, you know, they're more real than that even. And so when you sow, it brings about multiplication. And so I don't know, like today going through the seeds, I actually laid down there while Amanda was going through. She's just geeking out over it. You know, like awesome. It's a lot of seeds, guys. And so like, she's just geeking out. I'm laying down and I was just thinking about it. And I was really just kind of having a moment because I was like, man, I remember when I didn't have this, and now I can't give it away fast enough. And it just keeps coming and it just keeps coming. It's overwhelming even. Like it's an overwhelming thing, how much that we have in the season. But it's God. That's who he is. And if he says infinitely more, he means infinitely more. And I'm telling you guys, I mean, like, dream big, please. Like, our big dreams are a testament to who we believe God is. And if you can start getting really real with yourself about the things that you believe about him that aren't true, then he can deal with that. And saying, like, I'm afraid to dream for that because I'm afraid to be disappointed. This morning in church, they were talking about the parable of the talents, and this one was given 5 and doubled it to 10, or this one was given 10 and doubled it, and this one was given 5 and doubled it, and this one was given 1 and hid it because he believed the master to be cruel. And it's just such a picture to me that mindsets about who God is, and believing that he is cruel, and believing that he is hateful, and believing that you should be afraid to function in his presence or any of those things. I mean, it robs us of our multiplication. But believing that he trusts us, and believing that he's chosen us, and believing that he has given us authority and dominion, and he's given us the power to actually make decisions for ourselves, it enables us to actually do something. And yeah, it's our time. It's our time it's time to dream. It's time for us to confront our wrong mindsets about God that are holding us back from dreaming. And if I am anything at all in this place, guys, whenever I get on to YouTube and I see numbers like 120,000, I can't even wrap my mind around that. Like, I go into towns where the population is half of that, and they're busy towns, and I'm sitting there thinking like, man, this is really nuts. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around it. But if that is for anything at all, it is to be able to sit here and tell you you're not dreaming big enough. Like, confront the areas where you're afraid. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Like, and if you're not doing that right now, why? You know, like, is God not enough? It's hard. I'm not saying that it's not hard. It's hard for me too. There are things that I'm not doing because I'm afraid. But I'm working on it, and God's working on it. And I think if we start looking at the places, where we're afraid and we're not dreaming big enough, and we're willing to break through those walls, the blessings on the other side of that are just. I watched that video this last week. I went back and watched the video where they kind of overlaid their whole trip in the bus. And that moment where she said, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And I started thinking about that. And that has been so like stuck in my mind this last week, because I want to do some crazy things. Like, I want to do some big things. And I'm just feeling these dreams that they're not even possible within my lifetime. You know, like, they're not possible. I'm not even dreaming for myself anymore as much as I'm dreaming for my kids and what they're going to do, and what I might be able to invest in them and raise them up. What kind of roots might I be able to be for my children? And it's incredible. And fear will rob you of these things, and fear in your mindsets about God will rob you of the multiplication that he has for you. I know my husband is preaching in these comments, is he not? Because I keep seeing people pop up saying stuff to him. So, oh goodness, guys, you guys are so good to me, and so is Jesus. With God, all things are possible. You are so right, VW Family Farm. That is so true. Y'all, text messages blowing up my phone. I love y'all. My friends text me while I do lives, while they watch the lives, because they get to bypass the flying comment section. Yeah, Rose, I don't think they've all come true yet. I know I remember praying with you that first time we talked on the phone about dreaming for 10,000 and then dreaming for more than that. So, you know, celebrate this and thank God for it, and then lay your next dream out before him and see what happens. We have one mind. I haven't seen what you said, baby. Homegrown life, what kind of roots I can be for my kids. You know, so much of what Maya and I've come to in the last 6 months, and he's in the comment section, but I don't know. I wish he was here to share this, but we have been talking so much lately about legacy, and we've been talking about dreaming for our babies. And, you know, I used to travel in ministry. That's what I did. I was gone a lot. I missed a lot. And you guys see me with Benjamin and how I always have him with me. I missed so much of his first year. I don't remember the first time that he walked. I don't remember what his first word is. I was gone so much. There were months that I was gone half of the month. And I had this farm. I had this beautiful family who's not supposed to have children. And I have 5 beautiful, healthy sons that came out of my body, and a daughter that is such a joy and such a sunshine, just a beam of light. Like, they're so perfect. And I wasn't supposed to have babies. And I did. And I wanted a farm forever, and I got it. And then I was gone. And I thought I had to go.
Someone's supposed to hug you.
I thought I had to go. I thought I got to do this. I got to give my life for Jesus, and I've got to do this, and I've got to go. And I would go and I would preach, and we would do these services, and it was all work. And I finally realized, like, you know, my babies are my first ministry. My husband is my first ministry in this home that God has given me. He didn't give it to me for me to have to then. I was willing to give it back to him. I was willing for him to have all of it. And then I just felt like God told me, I want you to go home. And I started having all these dreams about it. And it was just this crazy time of my life. And I came home. And I thought, if I never change the world from a platform, if I never change the world from a place like that, if I change the world from my kids, that is more than enough. If I teach them to know Jesus and to be good dads and a good mom and good friends and good siblings and to love people well, then that's enough. And I had no idea that YouTube was going to happen. We had a neglected YouTube channel with 14 videos at that point. I had no idea that this was going to happen. And that's what I'm telling you guys. When I say dream and be obedient and seek God every day and stay in communion with him every day, worship him every day. If nobody's listening, that's the best times, really. And the fact that God has made more impact through me on this earth from my living room than anything else, than anywhere else, than anything that I could have possibly come up with on my own. And it was truly just out of a place. I thought that I was giving up ever having any sort of influence or platform, and I was willing to do it because what was more important was my family. I thought, it's okay. Like, this is enough for me. And that's what I'm saying. Like, from a heart that's just submitted to be in relationship with him and to love him, God, he can change the world with a heart like that. And it's hard sometimes, it really is, but it's so worth it. I haven't read a single comment because if I do right now, I'm probably going to lose it. Yeah, I can't read comments right now. So I'll come back and read those. So you guys who have been really encouraging, I will see it. But I'm about to lose it. Yeah, I didn't know I was going to talk about that. It really does blow me away. It really absolutely blows me away in such a massive way. But I share all these things, and I'm not trying to be like, look at me, I did it right. Because I don't do a lot of things right, but in this particular instance, if I can be an example to you guys that you really can trust him, even if it means laying your plans down on an altar and thinking that they're going to die, like, you can really, really trust him. He's so trustworthy, and he's so for us. He's so good. And like in every single way, he really is so good and present. And you don't have to be perfect. Just start the conversation. Just start talking to God and opening up your heart to hearing from him. Start reading the word so you know his voice. We learn the sound of his voice through reading the word. And I like journaling. Journaling is so important. And I just looked over and just saw one comment crying at first. Thank you, Denise, for that comic release. But really, if this is for anything, if this platform, if this is for anything at all, it's to tell people that God can do extraordinary things through very ordinary and flawed people who are submitted to his process and who are madly in love with him. I really think that he could change the entire world with a handful of very ordinary and flawed people who are submitted to his process and madly in love with him.
Amen.
Okay. I told you I couldn't read the comments. Thank you, Karen, for that. I'm so glad to know that he's touching your heart. Oh, just made it for missing church this morning. All right, guys, we're gonna close this up because I'm way after time, and I need to call my mom because literally my mom pulled up here at 7. My kids were just like losing their crap, and I had forgotten to cook dinner because I was like, oh, we gotta feed our farm, like, and then I was like, oh my gosh, it's time to go live. I didn't make dinner, so my mom pulled up and I gave her 4 boys a debit card and my keys and said, please take them and buy them food. So, thank you guys so much. You bless me a lot and make me cry on the regular, and for that I am so incredibly thankful.
And thank you everyone for your kind comments and for inquiring about this weird person who's on Jess's channel tonight.
Yes, you'll be able to see more of Amanda in the vlog tomorrow, and I'm so thankful for her. We've had a wonderful time here.
It's been a real pleasure.
Yep. So we bless you guys.
Good
Until
night.
next time.